Okay, in this demonstration what we're going to do is we're going to install SQUID proxy server on our Ubuntu Linux machine. So I'm going to go to Applications, Accessories, Terminal. Okay, I made the font a little bit bigger so that it's a little bit easier to read in the window here. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sudo apt-get install SQUID, and then space. I'm also going to call SQUID common, which I guess is just common libraries for SQUID. So I'll hit enter, and I'll need to put in my password, and it says do I want to continue. I'll put a Y for yes and hit enter, and now it's downloading the packages that we need to install SQUID. SQUID is running, and normally we would start and stop SQUID by doing a sudo root etc directory init.d directory and look for SQUID and then space and then stop to stop the server, but there's no SQUID in initd. And I guess this is init.d directory, so I guess that's a new thing. So if you want to start or stop the service for SQUID in this new version of Ubuntu or new version of SQUID, since it's not in the init.d directory, what you can do is you can type sudo service SQUID, and first thing I'll do is do a status. Let's take a look at it. Okay. SQUID start running process. It's got the process there. So what I could do is I could do sudo service SQUID stop, and that should stop SQUID from the SQUID server. The other thing that I could do is if I need to stop SQUID, I could also do a sudo pkill space -9 SQUID. Alright, and if I want to start SQUID up, I'll do a sudo service SQUID start, right, and that'll start it up. Or let me kill that, just killed it. Or I could also start SQUID up by doing a sudo root directory user directory sbin directory, and then launching the SQUID program, the server, directly by going into the sbin folder, and I could start it up there. So now it's running. Alright, now that we have SQUID running, I'm just going to hit enter a few times, clear this. I could just clear this here. Let's see, clear. Alright, now we're clear. What I want to do now is I want to edit the configuration file so SQUID as a proxy server can do what I want it to do. Okay, let's find the configuration file for SQUID. The configuration file for SQUID, I'm going to change directory here, and I'm going to go into my etc directory, and I'll hit enter, and then I'll do a list. And you'll see that there should be a folder for SQUID in here. Let's see here. There it is, SQUID. There's a directory for SQUID. So I'll do a cd SQUID. And so now I'm in root etc SQUID. And you can see the working directory. If I do a pwd command, you'll see there's my working directory. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an ls command, and you'll see that there's one file in this directory, and it's called squid.conf. This is the configuration file for SQUID. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to back it up. I'm going to back it up by doing a cp command, which is a copy command, and I'll just do copy squid.conf, and then the file I want to copy it to, and I'll copy to squid.conf.back, which is a backup basically, right? So I'm going to copy the squid.conf to squid.conf.back, hit enter, right? It says permission denied up because I need root permission, so I'll put a sudo on the front and hit enter, and that should be good. Now if I do an ls command, you'll see I have two files in the directory, squid.conf and squid.conf.back. So I'm ready to edit my conf file. And to do that, I'm going to do a sudo, use gedit, and since I'm in the directory, I could just put squid.conf, or in this case, I'll just put the full path just to show you that I'm working full path 2 here. Squid and squid.conf, and I want to background the process, so I'm going to put an and sign at the end and hit enter, and that should open gedit, and now I have gedit open so I can edit my configuration file, but I also have my terminal still active, and I can still put in commands here if I need to start and stop squid, so I can test out my configuration file because I'm going to want to test it out. Okay, before we start configuring SQUID, the other thing we're going to need is we're going to need a web browser to test out our SQUID proxy server. So I'm going to open up Firefox here, and I'm going to go to Edit, Preferences, and I'm going to go to the Advanced tab, and let's see here, Network, and under Connection, configure how Firefox connects to the internet. What I'm going to do is, instead of using system proxy settings, I'm going to manually force Firefox to go through my SQUID proxy server. So I can do that by putting, I believe here, my loopback address, or I can just put my IP address. So let's find out what our IP address is. In terminal window, I'll do an if config, and I can see that my IP address is 10.0.2.15. So 10.0.2.15. So I'll put in here 10.0.2.15. And then the port that we're going to listen to, SQUID works on port by default 3128. So I'll put that in there, and I'll click OK. All right, and then I'll hit close. And now if I go to Yahoo, it's going through my SQUID server, and you can see right away that when I go to Yahoo I get an error, access denied. So right now SQUID is blocking all access to the internet. So this is good and this is bad. The good news is that SQUID's working because it's blocking the internet here now for me. The bad news is I've got to configure it to, well, that's not bad news, but I got to configure SQUID so that I can have web pages that I want show up, and then filter the web pages that I don't want. Okay, and then you could use this, let's say at home, if you wanted, SQUID is a good tool to use if you wanted to filter web traffic or the web pages and websites on your home network, something like that. Now I'm going to go back into gedit and start configuring. I want to go to Edit, Preferences, and turn on line numbers. So in gedit I'm going to Preferences, and I'm going to turn on line numbering. So this is a big configuration file. It's got thousands and thousands of lines, and so by having the line numbers it'll help me to move around.